Hello and welcome to an inquiry into Empathy Quotient by Vidya Damani. Through the medium of a podcast, I'm going to be speaking to leaders from various walks of life to understand empathy in action. How can empathy be taught, percolated, or even imbibed? If you've ever been someone who's asked yourself how you could be a more empathetic leader or a person, then this show is for you. Please stay with us and let's unpack and learn Empathy Quotient together. I'd like to formally introduce Madhumita Basu. She's an experienced C-suite professional, having provided leadership to large teams across various functions: strategy, ESG, investor relations, sales and marketing, innovation, and quality for a cement major. As an innovation leader, she has established processes resulting in the development of India's only patented packaged cement product. So a huge congratulations on that. She has a cross-industry experience, which is cement, like I mentioned earlier, FMCG, and even lead-acid batteries. She identifies herself most as a sales and marketing professional because she's worked in domestic, international, B2B, and B2C. She's passionate about mentoring, leadership, development, and training. She's also associated with various corporates and organizations as a trainer, speaker, and panelist. So welcome, Madhumita Basu. Someone who can roll up her sleeves and get anything done. Someone who's bold, witty, and very sharp. And someone I have worked with and I really admire. So thank you so much, Madhumita Basu, for joining us today.
Thank you, Vidya. I'm excited to be here. And I really like that you challenged me to come and do this with you.
Yes. In fact, when I've worked with Madhumita, I have really felt like she can get things done. But she definitely has been a very empathetic, and since we were on the agency side. So yes, I can say that firsthand. So thank you very much. I wanted to start from the top. You have 40 plus years of experience. You've been in an industry which is called the so-called hard shell industry, which is cement, and very male-dominated industry. You have led teams through transitions, strategies, and acquisitions. So I would love to hear your journey journey to leadership, and if you can share some of your personal struggle.
The good thing about a near 40-year career is when you look back, those struggles seem small, but the lessons are big. So I'll transition somewhere in between the two when I talk. Vidya, incidentally, my career started with Excite. So,
right.
Cement, I've been here for 14, 15 years. But I started with lead-acid batteries. Again, completely male-dominated industry. When I look back on my career there, it has not been a step-ladder kind of growth. It's been more like a jungle gym.
Uh-huh.
So when I majored in finance in my MBA course, I was 100% certain that business is all about finance and that's what I should do.
Okay.
I go for my first interview and I'm sold the idea that sales marketing people are not very strong in finance, and we need somebody who will be working on proposal documents, ROI, and somewhere I got talked into. Of course, later in my life, I used that as my USP, the finance man in the sales marketing domain. But
the flip is true, someone recognized the marketing talent in you.
Right from the start, there was a lot of cultural confluence in what I was doing.
Right.
Dealers were a different set. Agencies were a different set. Right. My colleagues in sales and marketing. And then the stint with UK Chloride.
Right.
Somewhere into my 8th year, we just launched India Moves on Excite. A line they still use.
Yeah.
There was a feeling that I've done my bit here.
So you were part of the team that launched that line?
Oh, yeah. I was the advertising manager there. Of course, totally co-created with the agency. And that's another story.
Yeah.
But a lot of agency handling I learned
Right.
from those days.
Mm.
I'll come back to that empathy and respect for your partners in business. But I challenged myself. I reached out to our marketing director and asked for a role in sales.
Okay.
And you know how it is in organizations, roles open up when people move. I was already a general manager, so they couldn't really tell me, okay, start as a salesman. They gave me a very small division, motorcycle battery.
Okay.
For MRTP reasons and all, Excite was late getting into it. The entire original equipment for the first time motorcycle production business was with our competitor.
Okay.
So I was given the task to go and sell this battery to our dealers. Our dealers were happily selling Maruti batteries and making a good bit of money. So it was a struggle. It was a struggle establishing credibility. From motorcycle batteries, I moved on to head a very important part of the automotive division, which was the original equipment.
Okay.
Again, the questions that came is she's not an engineer, but she handled it.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's the time I pointed out that I will make up in the commercial acumen.
Ah, right.
That was a very interesting time because somewhere between 96 and 2001, every major automobile manufacturer into the country. We had the Americans with a certain behavioral set, very direct. You had to communicate with them differently. Then you had the European players, and then you had the Asians, Japanese, and Koreans.
Right.
And understanding the cultural context from which they came was very important because one had to negotiate large contracts. And how Excite worked was, since I was heading the original equipment business,
right,
I had to be seen by the customer as the person with whom all negotiation stops. So first, let's take a look at the American buyers.
Yes.
I had this buyer who would keep asking for RFQs. And my colleague would say, this time we are going to get the business. So I think it was the third RFQ. I said, I'll send it provided you arrange for a meeting.
Okay.
I went and met the vendor development head. And I said, why are you doing this to me? You have an international arrangement with a battery supplier.
Right.
And they are collaborators of my competitor.
Right.
So if you want to take a quotation from me and beat them down on the price, please keep asking, I'll give you. So it was a lighter note, but what I'm trying to get across is this is the kind of conversation, very adult, you could have and very direct with certain buyers. As you moved to the Asian buyers, very hierarchy driven.
That's Japanese and Koreans, right?
Japanese and Korean. And I'll just, round this off with a contrasting story.
Right.
A humorous one. We had started supplies, and the MD with board members was visiting India to meet vendors.
Okay.
And they kept telling me that only your director can come, only your director can come. I kept telling our director, he said, no, Madhu, you will manage it. So I land up for this meeting.
Right.
In the morning, I had time on my hands. I went around, hi, how are you? He says, where's your director? I said, no, actually, he couldn't come for this or that reason. We went back and forth for quite some time. And then I had to call our director and tell him, you are required here. Please take the evening flight and come.
Right.
He's refusing to let me go. I said, what? Then we'll have to drop out. He said, no, you can't do that. Table seating arrangements and all are finalized. Then I said, okay, I've spoken to him. He's coming. Which flight? When will he arrive? So he did this math and says, likely he will be walking in when our director has already started his speech. That cannot happen. And very reluctantly, he told me, okay, you come. I landed in the evening, Vidya. They refused to change my name card.
Oh my God.
So my colleague, my boss and the director His name is Mr. S. Chand.
Okay.
Of course, flight didn't take off on time. He was very much delayed, landed after dinner was over. I went around all evening being called Mrs. Chand. So, you know, the point I'm trying to make is I did have a chip on my shoulder. You know, I was in charge of the original equipment business.
Right.
I was considered bold in many aspects at the, at conferences, company tables and all. But I think I developed more empathy, more awareness,
Right.
more respect for cultural roots. That was my first recognition.
Right.
From there, I moved on to handle international marketing for Excite. Again, vastly different countries. I traveled to, people I worked with, Armenians, Afghanistan, Indian businessmen from UAE, Belgian and Italian buyers, Japanese buyers. So here again, a very interesting moment I recall because all these raised a certain awareness on how to deal with different people.
Right.
And I might have learned it from my customers, but somewhere I started applying it in my own leadership growth and journey in the organization. So we had this Armenian buyer. I was not looking after international business then. My other colleague, he just called me. He said, why don't you join us for lunch? It's a very interesting person. I go and there's this gentleman there and there is an interpreter.
Okay.
We later on went on to do very good business, dynamic businessman. So that meeting, somehow we had that, and then the second visit, he made a quick visit to wrap up the commercial. He lands up and since I had sat through the previous meeting, my colleague said, come join us. It helps if you're negotiating, have somebody. So we're sitting there and we're waiting for the interpreter to come. So in his broken English, referring to his dictionary, he says that, no, I have come without an interpreter.
Okay.
The last time I came for the meeting, he said, I sensed authenticity. I mean, he used words like honest and all that. He said, somewhere I felt the interpreter was probably interpreting correctly, but was not able to get through the emotions I am feeling when I am talking to him. And made several visits, went to our plants later. And his biggest thing was, I'm learning English.
How fantastic.
We are still in touch with that customer. So that again was a learning for me, that somebody is wanting to get the emotional quotient into a conversation.
And negotiation.
Yes.
Again,
another experience, another lesson, little bit of a struggle. We had this very large Japanese auto major who wanted to do something significantly different with us, which would have had commercial dimensions.
Okay.
And our collaborators advised that I should go to Japan.
Okay.
And they would prepare for the meeting with me. So I lined up there on a Monday morning. We put in some work. I traveled all night. So they said, we'll have an early dinner. We went and they took me to one of those literal takeaway bento box Chinese places.
Okay.
So I'm having my noodles and very reflectively I tell them, why have I come to Japan to have Chinese food? And they looked at each other and they grinned from ear to ear. So are you sure? From Tuesday through till Friday that I stayed there, we used to by 6:30 they would say, Mita-san, time to now unwind. We would go, we would start the so-called dinner session, going up till 10:30, 11, you know how they
the
work
courses
there.
And
And we would discuss work there. On paper napkins, their manufacturing head would try to make me understand something about a quality issue which we were facing with some customer. The last day, they gifted me a bottle of sake
Oh, nice.
And what they said stayed with me. They said every day you were so relaxed and exploratory on whatever you were eating. We were not tense.
Oh,
So we could just open up and chat with you. So I know it's difficult for vegetarians
Yes.
traveling abroad. I have done it with colleagues. I've seen their struggle. That's not the point I'm coming to. The point I want to make is, later when I got into the cement industry, I had to take charge of the sales function practically within a month because the earlier incumbent had left. The company was going through a transition.
Right.
Dealers were nervous because Lafarge has announced the exit. We had no visibility on who's going to buy the company. Negotiations were on. And for whatever reasons, these negotiations were a little protracted, almost for a 2-year period.
Oh, wow, that's long.
And into the 9th month of that time period, I had taken charge of sales.
Okay.
I just applied this, Vidya. I used to do something like, I told my team that let's shelf the regular office meetings.
Okay.
I'll get into a Patna or a Raipur, you'll join me. And we travel to, say, a market by midday, have small lunch with a small group of dealers, then have tea with another small group, and then eventually end up at the hotel where I would be staying for the night. Many of these visits, I dropped by to have lunch with my colleagues because we were at their homes, because we were practically 24/7 in the market.
Right.
People needed reassurance. People wanted to ask me what is going to happen. How
the
is there going to
uncertainty must
the
have
uncertainty.
been quite,
And the
difficult.
tricky bit of it, Vidya, I too didn't know. The learning I had was it helps to be direct and honest. That I don't know.
Right.
There were many meetings where, there would always be one or two very irate dealers. So I kept telling them, I don't know.
Right.
But I want you to know, and that's why I'm coming. And I knew that if I visited Patna market, Bhubaneswar market would know Madam is in the field. So I am there. At the moment your business is happening, at the moment I can tell you that these are our plans for investing in the brand.
Right.
So there is a certain conversation that I was having. Strike that empathy factor. It was a big thing that yes, families were also worried.
Right.
They didn't know who would take over the company. Same thing, I don't know, but I just want you to understand we are in this together.
Right.
So something I learned, in a
From the
totally different
Americans,
context.
Yeah.
I ended up enjoying a lot of meals with families in Bihar, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh. No complaints, Odisha.
Fantastic. This is such a
So,
great story.
as I was saying, just to round up, I don't know when I stopped recognizing struggles. I'll not totally escape the question. I address and have sessions with many women leaders. And the question is, how did you manage it? So I don't want to come across as, it was breeze.
Very easy. Yeah.
It isn't. Did I have my moments of breakdown? My daughter was 5 years old and I actually had a miscarriage while traveling on work, company tour. And I understood firsthand what empathy is from colleagues.
Right.
Then my second child was born, and the latter bit, the pregnancy and the second birth, was the time I was handling original equipment business.
Oh, wow. So you worked through your pregnancy?
Yes, I was practically in office till Friday and delivery on Monday.
My God, that is something else.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. But last week I was talking to women in a particular organization, and this lady in the question answer session said that, how did you do it? I feel the pressure on work-life balance.
Right.
Because I feel I'm not perfect.
Hmm.
So I told her the operative term here is not work-life balance.
Right.
The term you need to work on is, why do you need to be perfect?
Yeah.
And that's where on empathy, I sometimes have this take that, most times have this take,
Yes.
that it has to begin with you.
Absolutely.
You have
In
to.
fact, that was going to be my second
Okay.
question.
Yeah, I guess when you start
Yeah.
a conversation like
That's-
this, stories flow.
It
Yeah,
just
please, back
flows.
to you, Vidya.
When I approached you about being, part of this conversation about the inquiry on empathy quotient, you had very interestingly said that for you, the perspective of empathy is that it's not a leadership tool, it's just who you are. It's not what you do, it's who you are. So can you please elaborate on that?
I would like to put a term to it, Vidya. More like, I see empathy as a personality trait.
Nice. Okay.
I don't see it as a situational leadership skill. There are times when you can play the empathy card.
Right.
You can't, because that is, you have done it in your career,
Right.
but that's a manipulative take. It's not really the empathy take.
Right.
So my way of looking at it is, it's not a skill that you pick up. It's a personality trait.
Right.
You can't be different at work, at home, in your social context, and you can't say, I'll be empathetic when the situation arises.
Right. It's not a decision to be made.
Like I said, you can play the tactical.
Right. Here's a question, because like empathy, as I'm sure you've also experienced, and I feel I see that with all my colleagues and even people that I work with, is that for some people it just comes naturally. So when you say personality trait, it's just part of your personality. It needs to be honed. It needs to be kind of strengthened as a muscle. But some might just not be able to. So how does that work?
Important thing is, you must not normalize toughness. Okay. So when I say it's a personality trait, many times you hear leaders saying, I am tough with my team, I am tough with myself. A lot of these 72-hour work week conversations come from there, I did it, I was tough on myself. So my way of looking at it is, you cannot normalize toughness. And if you can normalize toughness, then you can normalize empathy into a personality.
Right.
Yeah. So I wouldn't want to leave empathy as a black box here. How do you demonstrate empathy on the table?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So take a basic thing. Respect.
Right.
Empathy begins with respect. Many times you will see in meetings, there's somebody who's chairing the meeting, and somebody comes to make a presentation. Into his third slide, he's being asked questions which are somewhere in the 6th, 7th, and 13th slide.
Yes, it happens all
But
the time. Yeah.
the poor chap doesn't get a chance. He gets muddled. Then there are other people in the room getting tense, telling, hey, you relaxed. His immediate boss, if he's there, he's saying, you knew it. Haven't you put it in the presentation?
Yeah. Yeah.
And suddenly the atmosphere changes in the room. So respect. Respect the fact that you may like all your managers, general managers, to be super duper public speakers, but all of them are not. Some of them might have very good thoughts.
Yes.
Respect is one thing. Another thing which you kind of stop and ask, why is this person behaving the way he is?
Yes.
So there you develop a little bit of a curiosity.
I love that word, curiosity. Yeah.
You explore.
Yeah.
When you stop to explore, that is when you're opening up yourself to work out that empathy from within you.
Right.
If I don't respect you, if I'm not curious about who you are and what is the context in which You make certain statements. How do I work? How do I work up the empathy?
Right.
Then patience. You know, you mentioned about agency relations. So typically, clients, when you want to work, as of yesterday. This as of yesterday is such a smart statement, you know. Many times I used to point it out to my team that, you know, it's going to be like crying wolf. Work you don't need as of yesterday.
Right.
Please phase it out. And what you need as of yesterday, don't just say, I need it as of yesterday. Take a little trouble to explain. Why will skies fall if you don't get it?
Right.
As of yesterday.
Yeah.
So patience, you know. I'd like to share a nugget on patience. I was telling you that, you know, as my first job, I was given this responsibility of motorcycle batteries.
Yes.
We had absolutely no scope to enter the original equipment business.
Okay.
So I started my rounds with the customers. Some of the customers were smart. They figured that, you know, they could give me an entry, 1 or 2 rupees price advantage. And when you're producing a large number of vehicles, even that 1 or 2 rupees makes a
absolutely
difference. There was this one customer. I used to go and there are production hubs in Pune, in South, in Central India. I used to go to visit other customers and drop by at his office.
Okay.
Every time my colleague used to tell me that I don't know, he's not confirmed the meeting. I've talked to his team, no problems. I've come, I used to go, I used to send my business card in, and I would have a flight to catch. I would say thank you to his team and go off.
Okay.
I don't know, probably this happened for 6 or 9 months. Every month I was doing this. Then one day my colleague calls, please come, this time it is for sure. I knew what had happened. They were sourcing, they had a single source. My competitor had a labor issue in their plant.
Right.
So I said, yeah, I know, I'll come. So my colleague comes to pick me up at the airport. He says, you know, the boys tend to be friendly, no?
Yes.
His team and my team. Because he was also making so many visits. He said, the funny bit is development director comes out and he's like shouting at his team, every month she came and she dropped her business card here and you can't find a single business card. But patience, you know, what I gained, I didn't even have to give them that 1 to 2 rupee discount.
Oh, wow.
As I was saying, my colleague used to feel uncomfortable. Aapko bitha ke rakha hai, and all that. So sometimes, you know, maybe somewhere that's more of a salesman in me.
Right.
You don't put ego always on the table. They are running their own businesses.
Yeah. And I think you understood that very early on, because even in your first story, when you spoke about the whole the funny episode about being Mrs. Chan, there was no ego involved. It was just trying to say, okay, this is a situation. What can I do to make the most of it?
Absolutely.
And you can think like that only if you're not thinking from an ego perspective, or not making it about a gender issue and saying, because I'm a woman, I'm being treated like this, or what they call, like you pointed out, the hierarchy, but understanding the context from where it's coming.
Absolutely.
So I think
understanding the context, you know, I've never read, you got a nice phrase to the table. I didn't think of it. But empathy is in a context.
Yeah. Wow.
And
Thank
understanding
you.
the context,
That's
I think we both co-created that
That's
bit.